appreciate your patience with us tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming out tonight to help us celebrate YWeb Cohort 17's graduation. We have 18 amazing students that have been working diligently for the past 15 weeks to learn JavaScript, CSS, and HTML while also learning soft skills. This cohort is a special one. One, because it is the largest cohort that we've had since the pandemic. We have 18. But then also, two things that stand out to me when I think about this cohort, or two words I would say, is community and growth. The values at YWCA Madison is community restoration, growth, and humanity. It's just so fitting that I think about community and growth when I think about this cohort. This cohort took care of each other, always took care of each other. They would come in, they would be cooking full meals. We'd come in, they'd be frying fish, there'd be red beans and rice. And they always were looking out for one another. But I also say growth. I remember our first restorative justice circle that we had with this group. Everyone had a turn with a talking piece. And on that first day, probably half of y'all passed the talking piece and did not participate. We had our final restorative justice circle last week, and we couldn't get y'all up out of there. We couldn't get you to stop talking. So that just shows how you all have come together and have really become a family through all of the hard work over the past 15 weeks. We have a really great program for you tonight. We're going to hear from some of our stakeholders in the program. We're going to give some words to the students. You'll get an opportunity to see some of the work that they've done over the past 15 weeks. And then we'll have a student speaker, some presentation of speakers, and then we'll get you all out of here. To open up the program, I'm going to ask our YWCA Madison CEO, Vanessa McDowell, to come up and give the students a few words.
Y'all just laugh. Okay, all right now. Well, good evening to everybody. It's so good to see everyone. It's so good to see a full room of folks and being in person. And so I'm excited to be here tonight to celebrate Cohort 17. Okay? Is y'all representing like Cohort 17? It's interesting because, you know, the EC, that's what we call the Empowerment Center, where we are located on the south side of Madison over here. And it's quiet, usually, when we ain't got no cohorts going on. But let me tell you something. You all have livened that building up, and it is so good to have voices and laughter and just community, as Ashley said, happening in the Empowerment Center. So I'm going to be sad to see y'all go. So y'all have to come back, okay? One of the things that we do at YWCA Madison, our mission is to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. And we do that in sort of three areas: housing and shelter, employment and transit, and race and gender equity work. And so YWeb falls under our employment and transit sort of bucket. And it's really an opportunity for us to change our community for the better. And one of the things that we are passionate about when we started this program in 2014, I want to say, and we started, we had a rocky start. There was some things we had to learn. There were some things that, some partners we were with that, we needed to change and really needed to focus this program to make it internal what we wanted. And one of the things that we were focusing on is we didn't want to just create, sometimes you have employment programs that create just jobs, right? And these jobs are paying $8, $13, $11. That is not a family-sustaining wage and job or career. So what we wanted to do with YWeb was make sure that you all have a career, right? Something that you can advance in and something that's not going away. So as we know, technology is not going away, it's ever changing every day. And so you all are getting ready to launch you all's careers. And I'm excited to see where you're going to go. We've had our past students that have gone on and continue to do amazing things, you know, working at Sony. Shout out! We got folks that are doing, working at American Family Insurance. We got people doing all kinds of stuff. And people that came to us that said, hey, you know, I really want to change the trajectory of where I'm going. And how do I do that? And so they went through this 15-week course. They struggled. There were some tears. But by the time we got out of it, they always come back and just say how blessed they are to be able to have gone through the program because it's changed their life. We got people that, you know, that came to us on the bus and now rolling. Okay, they're on cars. We got people that, you know, were living house to house that have their own homes. You know, so just being able to see the fruit of this program and seeing what the outcome of this program is always something that lets us know that we are doing the right thing and doing what we need to continue to do. So super excited to have y'all, super excited to see and hear your presentations tonight. I'm already impressed. I was looking at this going, I'm like, we ain't never did this. This is so new. Okay, so, you know. And just want to thank Ola. I want to give Ola a shout out in the back as an amazing instructor. And to see this program come full circle from where we started, where we had to contract out instructors, but now we got past students that are teaching the class, right? So that's an amazing feat that has come about in YWeb. And so I also want to thank Saul. Saul has been amazing. Shout out to Saul. He's really been helping our students in whatever needs that you all need. And so I know y'all have run Saul ragged, but Saul came last night for the holiday party getting my signatures on stuff. So he is making it happen. And I also want to thank Ashley. Ashley is our front desk director. She is doing an amazing job in just making sure that things run smoothly and that we're able to continue to do this program over and over. And Aurelia, shout out, you know, also for helping our students in the shop as well and supporting the class. And Lexus, y'all know Lexus at the front desk. Y'all buzzer the jacket. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all of your support as well in the class. And so, without further ado, I am going to pass it off back to Ashley. All right.
Thank you, Vanessa, for those words. The next person that I am going to invite up actually helped start the program and has been supporting student, staff, and volunteers for the last 17 cohorts. He continuously is providing insight and feedback for the program and always continuing to push students, but then also staff to grow. Mr. Rashid Atlas, if you would like to come up and give a few words to the students.
Good evening. First, I want to thank all of you for coming, family, friends, guests, YW staff, for keeping this program running the way it does. And thank you to all of you for making it through it, attending every day, going through this process to get where you're trying to go. I want to thank you and congratulate you. Very impressed. Just as Vanessa said, just to stand back, actually, you know, I couldn't even process what I was trying to think about looking at all of this. Extremely impressive just to see what you guys have rolling here without even hearing about your stories. I mean, some of you I've talked to in the interviews and things like that. And all of you that I've talked to know that I was impressed. But to see how large this group actually is, and see you all in person, after hearing about all of you, very proud to still be able to come up here and see this program run the way it does, to be able to speak to you, and maybe give you something to take away along with everything else you've learned in this cohort, and just to see the desire to still want to change, learn, move forward, and things like that, and so many of you. As Ashley spoke to, this is the largest cohort. The pandemic's been going for some years now, so I mean like 3-4 years, graduates at least. To see that that's still possible, still something that people want, you know, to still have this many participants make it through it and not give up, because I know how hard it is. You know, I put Ola through it, you know, some years back. So to see so many of you show up and stick to it, because I understand and know how hard it is, especially not just the curriculum, but to do this and still live, manage your families, all of that, and dedicate this much time to something every day. Lets all of us know. I'm sure everybody in this room that didn't take the program know. But you guys want something bigger than whatever you have before you took this program. That's the only way you commit to something like that this hard and stick with it that long. So I want to thank you for that alone. And congratulate you, all of you, because I know how hard it was. So I know you guys put yourselves through a lot. Friends, family, anybody that was supporting. I know how hard that could be too. So I thank all of you in the room for what you did to get these people through this program. 17 cohorts. You know, it's this is for me, you know, quite a sight to see. You know, I've been, as Ashley said, with this program basically from halfway through cohort 1. So to still see this many, like I said, it's just amazing. Like I said, it was the first thing I mentioned to Vanessa when I walked in the room. Oh, this is a big group. I just did not expect it to be this big, you know, this big of a group, and see this many of you this committed. You know, just quite impressed. This is going to be, as Vanessa said, the first step of many going forward in your lives. Like I said, commitment like this, I know you did it because you wanted to make a change in your life. This is going to be that first piece. The next step, interviews. Some of you will probably go on to continue other types of training. But starting that career starts tonight, basically, after you leave this room. Every connection you've made to this cohort, lean on it. Don't ever forget the power of networking. I'm sure a lot has spoken often about that. So use that network you've created. Okay, follow back up with all those folks. Your elevator pitch. Make sure you capitalize on that. Make sure you capitalize on that. That is still today, for me, after 30 years of doing this kind of work and being in this business for myself, the elevator pitch is how I get every job. Every single job. When I move from here, first thing I'm going to do is go to every business I can find and do my elevator pitch. 100 times a day. Those of you that talk to me know how many times I do it. 100 times a day. It takes me 8 hours, exactly. You know how long your elevator pitch is. Do the math. It's 8 hours. 1 day's work. 100 times. If I get one client, I'm set for the month. Understand the power of what you can do with your network. Okay? For those of you that are interested in going into your own businesses or just freelancing to have external income while you work, remember the power of your elevator pitch. That's going to be probably the biggest thing you can use in your tool wheelhouse, stepping away from this program immediately. Okay? Is that elevator pitch. Sell yourself. The only thing anybody wants to buy from you from here out is time. Okay? Make sure you sell them the rest. Right? Just lean on that. Lean on your network. Lean on all of us that you've met. Ola, myself, Ashley. When you need something, when you can't connect the dots, reach out. Don't hesitate to ask the questions. Don't waste your time trying to figure out answers when you know somebody else that knows. Ask the question, ask for help. Every employer is going to appreciate that. Everyone you ask is going to appreciate the fact that you were humble enough to ask and help you connect that dot to the next step. I guarantee you, don't ever hesitate. Don't ever hesitate. This network that you built, along with what you learned, is going to take you further than you can imagine, I promise you. Those two things are probably the best tips that I think I could give you right now. I know how
we come up with this animation for waterfall, like even little bit of change in color and then animation. Can you show the previous page, please? So this was the previous page. The color and change and animation is not there. So thank you so much. I'm gonna give the space to my team member, Rebecca. Now it's time to start. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Like our manager said, the GitHub page wasn't so easy to access. We tried to reject it a bit and make it dynamic. So by doing that, we decided to work on some of the things that were not working, especially the navbar, to make everything on the navbar, so that everything we just go through the navbar to go through the whole website. So in doing that, I worked on the innovation page. Initially, it was productivity page. The productivity page. What we did was to change the names, actually. So we named the page productivity innovation, and this is what I worked on. Yeah, we did this by adding animation and making more interactive. So you can see that it comes from both angles. It comes from left, right, and from the bottom, and from the up. Thank you. And I hand over to my colleague.
Hi everyone. I was in charge of 2 pages, Discover and Cohort. As you can see, I add some animations, CSS animations to the page. I add some color palettes, and as my team members say, on the original website, it's very hard to catch what page you are working on. You have to scroll before you get there. So I try to make it as a link, so when you click on it, it will take you directly to the web page you want to work on. Can you go to Cohort, please? Like the previous page, I add some CSS animation. You can see the images and the text that comes from different sides of the web page. It's typically the same thing as the old pages, the older pages. Thank you. I will invite my other colleague to present the page.
So I worked on the e-forum and Cypher page. So like my team member had mentioned, we were very creative with the name. So we had to come up with all the names to build the navbar. So the old page, like we mentioned, all the content were like all the way down. So it's very easy to miss the thing that you're trying to find. So with the navbar, it's easier to find the exact location that you're trying to find, and then to find like the content information and all that. And then the Cypher page was actually security, and then we just wanted something cool, and then we changed it to Cypher instead of security. That's it. And I'll give it to my next teammate.
So I have the footer or final page, and the original footer was just static. It was black and white. It was kind of dead. So the first thing I wanted to do is bring it to life. And in order to do that, I incorporated 2 types of advanced CSS, specifically animation. The first being the text that come from 4 different, and the icons that come from 4 different sides. The bigger challenge, though, was the video. I had to find something that would fit our theme. once I was able to do that, I started to tweak it. So the first thing I did is I put a tint, like you would put on your window on your car, on the screen, on the video, so that the white lettering could come through, so it could be visible. The next thing I did was I added this wonderful contact box. I wanted people to find how to reach us. A lot of times contact boxes are kind of, you have to search for them. I wanted it to be easy to find and something that was chic, and that's my page.
All right, and again, we're at the end of the presentation. Through this group project, we learned a lot, and we have faced a lot of challenges, but by focusing on our main goal, we're able to overcome the challenges. And I want to thank everybody to be here. Thank you to YWCA, thanks to all the sponsors, and thank you to my team members. And thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome job, group 2. Ready? Ready to go?
Good evening. My name is Renee Reed, and I had the privilege and the pleasure to be the team leader for Group 2 or 3, Be Create. My background is actually I was in insurance for almost a decade, and I moved to Madison from Indiana to do work in the social justice realm. And I will pass it to my teammates to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Mapiro, and I'm from West Africa. My background is accounting and finance. And when I came in the US in 2019, I just want to learn something new. So as I find this program, I'm glad to take it. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Austin. In 2016 I moved here to Madison and my background is in healthcare. I wanted to pivot into IT and was really excited to have the opportunity to come to the YWeb Career Academy.
Hi everyone, my name is Fred. I'm from Benin, West Africa. I study agriculture and business at Madison. So IT is basically new to me, so thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Chala Siedo. I'm original from Togo, a country in the West Africa. I have kind of accent, I speak French, so you will hear me. I'm a chef de cuisine by profession, but lately I start to be interested to the technology, to the computer, and that's why I get a chance to come to YWeb and get the data. So, thank you.
All right, so turning to look at the project that we chose. Our objective was to find a nonprofit whose website could use an overhaul. We chose the nonprofit group Train to Grow, which serves young men in Madison. It was important to us to choose a nonprofit that was serving the community. What we did is we studied other sites, and we also looked at this site to see the things that we could improve. There were many, many links that some were redundant, some of them didn't work. The website was also not very dynamic, and it wasn't actually easy to navigate or understand. So we collaborated. We studied other sites, as I said. We used W3 School, HTML, CSS, and a tiny bit of JavaScript to write our code. We collaborated on Google Docs, in Slack, and on GitHub. So the first of our challenges was rebuilding our website from scratch. The first thing that we did was we attacked the homepage as a team, and we collected all of the links and decided to hone in on those things that were most important. So the homepage, we brought the main content to the front and linked them to the about, the get involved, the contact, and the media. This was also our template, which we then used to further go into our website. Now I will give it over to Epifon for his portion.
Hi everyone again. For this podium, I was to build the navigation bar, and as you can see on the other website, they have so many links. So what we did is basically put them together. On the new one, we only have 5 with some drop down. So you can see, so that's basically I did for the navigation bar. Also, I did the footer. So if you go on the other footer, you can see what they have is this, it's not really appealing, not nice. So this one, I just make this look like this. So I guess you guys can agree this looks nice. So we have some links here. So when you click on Facebook, you can go on Facebook, So that's my part of the job. So thank you.
My part in this project is to design about things. So if we go to the old one, it's good, but it don't look nice. So I just want to make this look good. So I did it by using some stock features and some tools I learned in this program. So as you can see, now we have a drop-down about a mission, vision, and sponsor. So if you click on the mission, it pop up a statement, as you can see. So I just do this job to make it better. Thank you.
Yes. So I had the task of working on the Get Involved section, which is a section that we created from many different sections. We wanted to pull everything together to make it easy to find. The first thing that we did was we used the Brother from Another Mother link. We brought those together with the Let's Rap, the barbershop, and the table talk. Those activities were the ones that was most with that particular category. Then we moved on to activities. My colleague, Candace Coleman, who could not join us tonight, actually worked on this page mostly, and she had the task of bringing these things together in a succinct manner. Then finally, I was given the task of joining the 2 mentorship pages. Originally, the pages were separated from Get a Mentor to Be a Mentor. I joined these 2 things together and created one form that then is able to be used by both parties and added in categories which we all believe would be beneficial for the organization to collect for those members. And for the final portion, so sorry. The next we have Shalaki.
On this project, my part is work on the contest, and on the original website, the contest was spread out and unclear. So I found one better one on the UNICEF website page, and we put the one on your website, and we rebuilt that one and attached that one to the menu, and now it's a link, and the user will go and navigate through the different links. Thank you.
So my contribution to this project was the donate page. On the original donate page for Train to Grow, you can see that it's just not very visually appealing. And where they have donate monthly and give a one-time donation, they are two separate areas. So my goal was to create a more interactive and engaging and simple donation form. So I combined the give once and give monthly together. I added in some CSS animation up there by the heart. If you could hover over the heart.